I've decided to make this Lexus video in two parts, and it's really weird. I really don't feel like making this video. It often tends to be the case with the bigger jobs. With this Civic, like, time's not an issue with this car, but yeah, I'm not in the headspace for it whatsoever. I didn't even remember what I was going to say. I'm not in the mood. I'm just spacing out. So, okay, the point here was, and I'm not going to stop the video and make another one. When it's a big job, I don't want to make the videos because it's just like never ends. And my head just has everything lined up, because when you're experienced in whatever you do, you've got it all. It's all there. It doesn't matter what car it is. It just happens. And then I stand back and go, no wonder people say, how do you do that? Yeah, it's a gift. It is a gift. You know, mechanics, I know firsthand, in the city where workshops are being closed down, we are so highly respected. I mean, it is just so good. This is the best job, guys. Now, when you've got 50 mechanics around you in industrial complex, I don't know about that. But yeah, and if you do the right thing. Okay. Now, the main thing with any of these jobs, and I'm not going to go into someone I know that dropped a nut into a Skyline and destroyed the engine. Okay, shit happens. So you have to have a proficiency about yourself here. The number one thing is dropping something in the engine now and later. But meanwhile, we can't wait to see if the plugs will come out nicely, will we? So you want to loosen the plugs, get all your WD-40, whatever in there. I use combustion cleaner. I find just the foam just goes in. You don't want to do that though, or flood it if there's sand in there. Obviously you have to clean all the balls out and blow the rock covers off, and here we go. So now it all starts. So we blow the whole engine off, we take the cover off, you blow the whole engine off, and then you disconnect the ancillaries and all that. So this air box here is held on very firmly by a PCV hose, which is extra pan. I knew it would crack. All the Camrys did. Here we've got a problem with heat affecting coil packs and stuff. Use silicone spray only. Push the connectors down before you take them out. I've had to disconnect some injector cables here because I'm going to need movement for the loom. Okay, and then it never ends. So you want to glue those rock covers down, and that's the second video. So this will go to the point where I'm about to take them off. And I've left two nuts on for you guys over there. With air tools and stuff, you're going to get damage. I mean, the first Subaru I took for warranty, I got it back and the whole front of the car was scratched from the air hose. And go tell someone, oh, that's an air hose. I know, well, I do. It's an air hose, right? It can be polished off, but it doesn't matter. It's very easy to scratch stuff. Now, as cars get older, this one, you know, is, I mean, it'll come up beautifully, but as cars get older, you know, people just, the more damage on the car, the less people care about it, put it that way. So now you've got nuts falling down here. You've got the risk of leaving something on a fan belt and derailing the whole belt and breaking the timing case, whatever. So the cautions never, ever end. Do not charge your battery while removing the rocker covers. I've put it on now. There's going to be a delay. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I just don't want to work anymore. As you, the guys who know, the workshop's closing and I'm enjoying this. I've set myself up to do my favourite thing. See, it's what we all dread and don't want to do. But when you have your own time as a mechanic, this is a joy. I mean, don't you, someone want to freaking be a mechanic? Can you call me? And let's go, right? So I'll train you up. You have to have a brain, right? But, you know, you can't be a mechanic just because your brother's got a Gemini. Back in my day, everyone wanted to be a mechanic. So from 100 guys, there's 3 of us left, and one's now become a truck driver and making double what he made at Sutton's, by the way. So, you know, like at the end of the day, it's a fantastic job, but not if you have to work for someone and be treated badly or anything like that. You've got to love what you do. And even if you're treated badly, you might keep doing it if you love it that much. Trust me, I know. So I've left here. I recommend removing the battery immediately. Okay, and I'll at least the battery cover and loosen the battery, but you might as well just take it out. And I doubt you guys at home are going to have any of these combinations of tools. This one isn't the most sophisticated combination, but this has all been opened by air. Okay, I have barely put a spanner on this car. In fact, okay, glue for everything. No, that's just separate. And by the way, I don't recommend cheap glues, right? It was fine for the Audi. No, sorry, it wasn't. I made an Audi video gluing the back door trim pieces that fell off the back of the seats. And I recommended, what's their name? I've just completely switched off from work. I've been just in the sun and that. Now, spark plugs, of course, you don't want to crack them and stuff like that, especially on installation. Take that stupid magnet out and always have a worn spark plug tool that can move around a little bit. Though it's contradictory, when the tool is a cheap shit tool and it locks on hard, it can be a real problem. So it's up to you. I'm just saying I don't use magnetic spark plug tools, okay? You use a magnet, but the problem with cheap magnets, the end of the magnet can fall off into the engine. So really, I have an NGK, we call it a condom, that we put over the plug and take the plug out. Now, when spark plugs crack on Lexus, which I've seen, not on the V8, I've had a couple of Lexus Soras and that, with 6 cylinders and stuff with broken spark plugs. Okay, because there's certain things in that double overhead cam setup to derail you. You don't need a lot of tools on this car. You can see it's amazing. Toyota, there's no one like you. Honda's far better than you, but they just don't have the cash to be a global pillar of the global economy like Toyota. Okay, but the way Toyota do it, of course this side's easier than that. The aircon's there, right? So it's the light just turned off. Not a big deal. Very sharp angle, right? Now, after disconnecting stuff and using sensibility, which takes time, I keep coming back. It looks immediately to me that this engine hanger might need to come off. Oh no, it can't. It's behind the intake manifold. Okay. So this bracket here, I mean, they're made to remove. This is similar to even a Hilux. It's the same DNA. This is done very, very complex-wise. But you can see the complexity of this vehicle. But this is seemingly... See, this plastic bracket, that plastic bracket it's creating a lot of rigidity in this area. Okay, and we've got the same thing going on with the dipstick. Okay, I just want to be able to move it. Now I've loosened the bolt. There's a bolt down there on an angle, but I got it with an air ratchet. I don't recommend doing it, but that's how I roll. So air ratchet all the way, right? Of course, you don't want to drop stuff. I even opened all of these with an air ratchet. All of these. This one, straight in here with a long 10. So each one here takes a different tool. I will not operate this tool, but you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm managing to do it. The thing is, when you get it in, if the bolt's not going to go in with a finger, you got to put a socket on it and get that bolt in, because this is where everything goes wrong, and that's where they leak. Okay, on that back of the bank, it's pissing out. So over here as well, I've removed injector sort of wires to give me movement. I'm not an expert in this vehicle. I've loosened this clamp here, and I'm having a look at this. Even if I have to remove this, I don't think I will, but I would. You know, if you have to remove this, you would. Don't have any open gaps. And, you know, if you're going to, I don't know, in this condition, there's no reason for me to blank this. Okay, all this. Now, the PCV hose, they crack on all the Toyotas after time, but this was, you know, split very finely. They're extra pan, so what you do with that, you put the PCV hose back on. You don't super glue it together because it'll just happen again. And I use a Hylam aviation spray in the area where it's clean here, just so it's cracked on that side. And then you will fill it with Celastic, and you can electrical tape it, and it'll last as long as the car will, or you can order the hose from Japan and put it on. this vehicle needs to be driving this morning, but he's cool. So hopefully it'll go well. Now, another caution before the second video, I just had a little epiphany that I hope the rock covers are not vulcanized on, which they shouldn't be, right? But you never know, like vulcanized in the fine groove, you can break the groove of the rock cover. I'll go into that in the second video. Okay, now, yeah, so it definitely can't be about how to do it. Now, there's this device here. I don't know if that's a suppressor of some type, okay? But all of this stuff creates rigidity in the loom. Now, on this side, the loom began to deteriorate. Just that rubber there. It could have been, I believe, oh no, that's all right, contaminated with oil in the past maybe, or, you know, on an Audi, the whole car ends up crumbling away anyway. So you can see here, you know, if something's going to crack, it's all right, it's just squeezing it together. If something's going to crack and fall into the engine, a little bit of plastic will be disintegrated maybe, but otherwise, you know, the main thing is dropping stuff in the bloody engine. This is the whole problem. You know, even when you don't care and it happens, sand going in the dipsticks, you know, if you take them out and forget to put them back, those dipsticks are interfering with both those bolts in those areas. And that's that. Isn't that the end of that video? Should be. So go and disconnect whatever you have to, but don't crack an injector. Okay, if you haven't done it, do not touch this job. Okay, I smelt fuel. So when I took off that, I don't know which number it is at the moment, whatever. When I took off one of the injectors there, I immediately smelt fuel. Immediately. Meanwhile, I'm sort of lifting the tab, pushing the injector in. It's not coming out. So what you do, they wouldn't come out. Even with the coils, you got to get a flat, as I always say, the wider the better, but not too wide, and push the connector on the coil, which a couple of them he flicked straight away, they broke, right? Now it's not the end of the world. You don't use super glue, you use elastic or whatever. Just a spot of this silicone sealant, anything that you can get, even a little piece of paper or a little tiny piece of wire, it'll sit, it won't move if done right. So yeah, meanwhile you're prying on the connector, okay, they're this type. You know, that's where the German connectors just are superior. I've never really had an issue, but these connectors here are, I don't know, everything's engineered down to a closer tolerance, which creates problems, believe it or not. So, amazing vehicle. Amazing vehicle. He's got a door lock failure. That'll be in the future as well. But, you know, rear shock absorbers were done. I'm going to make a video about the convertible top. This is SC430 V8. You know, I see this car in Beverly Hills and stuff like that. So even the guy at Toyota said, you know, I don't know why everyone bought them. I said, no, well, it's known to be America's most unreliable Lexus. You're always going to have problems with the big doors. As you know from my videos, just the curse of the fucking convertible. And there's the swearing. Now I'm going to lose the license on it. Or whatever, if they can pick that. Now, that's it. Don't crack the injectors. You can see them there. Okay. And, you know, look, I mean, there we go. So that's right. So now, that's the end of the video. Now, when you have a screw that you leave loose, because I left them all loose, right? And the washers can separate. Okay, you do it systematically. Either take each one out or undo it all the way and then gently hold it and then go around with a magnet and go boom, 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 boom and collect them, because this can turn